Another one down there.
Today on Legends of Rod and Reel, we're going bass fishing with one of the greatest anglers in the world of freshwater fishing. His name, Al Lindner. From inventor of fishing lures to co-founder of the In-Fisherman magazine, if there's a fishing legend in the angler world,
But that's a good smallmouth.
it starts with the name Al Lindner.
All who seek fish are not created equal. Some anglers who ply the waters possess a passion unbridled, with catching skills unmatched. With all fish, they see eye to eye. They are the legends of Rod and Reel.
When you say fishing to me, that's what I see. I see a big fish, a smallmouth tail dancing across the surface, or a muskie shaking its head on a topwater bait. I envision the fish in the water. They like this. We'll play around through a variety of different baits and see what's tripping their trigger. One of these 6 rods is going to shine. I don't know if this is going to be the one or not. We'll see. Little guy. Not bad. Oh, he just got off. That's a good sign. That fish was in one of these deep weed beds right here.
A missed fish, a good sign? If you're Al Lindner, the fish signals always seem to be in your favor.
He grabbed that really good. There's one. Oh, yeah, coming up. Yep. Yes. Oh, he came off too. What the heck? 2 in a row? Well, at least I know what they're biting on. Oh, what I got here? It feels like a northern, not a bass. It is. Ugh. 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 Oh, he buried everything. Oh, man. You took all my good stuff.
Bass, northern pike, walleye, muskie, catfish, it matters not to Al Lindner.
When you get a bite like that, after all these years, the adrenaline still kind of pumps a little bit. You get a little boom. That's what it's about. There's something about feeling that fish bite. That's why I'd rather, instead of trolling, I'd rather cast for any kind of fish.
Cast and cast he has. For nearly 40 years, Al Lindner's name has been synonymous with fishing. Even his business is fishing. The Minnesota-based angler has invented fishing lures, fishing theories, and with his brother Ron Lindner, co-founded In-Fisherman magazine, one of the most prestigious freshwater fishing journals in American history. Al Lindner is a fishing legend wherever he casts.
You know, some of the best fishing that I experience every year is on little lakes like this. People say, what do you do for fun and in your spare time? I pick a little body of water, I look at a map in Minnesota, land of 10,000 lakes, loaded with little lakes. I go to lakes I've never been on before and hunt for bass, crappies, bluegills. Small lakes like this are loaded with fish. Good fish, good bass, big bass. Good bass, big fish. Good fish there. Yeah. That one is... I thought initially when I set that she was bigger than she was, but she ain't.
While luck is a part of fishing, Al Lindner doesn't wait for luck. He makes his luck.
Before I put the boat in the water, I kind of have an idea of where I'm going to go, the kind of structure I'm going to fish. I want the crankbait rod, the family of lures I'm going to use. I want the worm rod. I want the jig rod. There's certain things that tend to work on this kind of water at this time of the year. If I can't catch a fish with 6 rods, something is wrong. And then you start with that, and then you kind of tweak off of that.
Choosing the right gear is part of making your own luck, but there's more. Choosing the right water and the right time.
Did a cold front come through? Yeah, you know, did I get a severe weather change that'll slow bite down, that means I'll throw more vertical presentations than horizontal. And that depends on how I rig the rods. So you'll see I'm rigging mainly soft plastics, and I got a DT Rapala crankbait, a DT10 on one rod to cover some deep weeds with. And sometimes you get on these schools of fish just changing baits on them. You catch 3 or 4 fish on, on one bait, and then just throw another one in them. And you get 1 or 2 more out of the same school. Oh, come on. Whoa. Oh yeah, that's what we're out here for now. That's what we're fishing for. I told you there was a big one laying in here. In this, whoa. There, oh. Look at that baby, huh? Woo! I told you there was a giant in here. That's more of the kind of fish we're looking for. That's a big bass. That's borderlining on a, let's see, for a Minnesota bass, that's got a little bit of Texas, California, and Florida in her. Big fish from Minnesota waters. Oh boy, that's a big fish there, baby. And that, oh, come on.
Still to come on the Legends of Rod and Reel. By now you know Al Lindner knows how to catch fish. But where did he learn to become a legendary angler?
If there's one tip I can give you that...
Plus we learn some of Al's fishing secrets. All that and more on Legends of Rod and Reel.
And most of the good...
Legends of Rod and Reel is presented by Rapala, your best shot at a world record. Welcome back to Legends of Rod and Reel.
That's been a good color.
Al Lindner didn't invent fishing, but he could have. His list of angling accomplishments are as long as a stringer of big walleyes. Minnesota fishing guide, inventor of fishing lures like the Lindy rig, tireless promoter of fishing, co-founder of InFisherman magazine, and now co-host of a syndicated fishing show, Lindner's Angling Edge.
Bad cold front came through last night. Wind is blowing 20 to 30 miles an hour.
Yes, he's a fishing legend who grew up the hard way, Chicago.
Growing up as a kid in Chicago, I knew when I was like about 12 years old that I was going to make a living fishing. But I remember my mother in particular, who loved to fish, they seen that there was an interest level there that was above a normal interest in fishing. And they nurtured it. They never put that fire out and said, that's a stupid thought, kid. How are you going to make a living fishing? Yeah, get real. Go get a real job. Yeah, they bought me the best fishing equipment from the time I was a little kid.
The day after Al Lindner graduated from a Chicago high school, he moved to Hayward, Wisconsin to cast his lot as a fishing guide.
And had a reputation for a young kid in that area of catching a lot of fish already. And in between fishing, I would do anything to hustle a buck. I did part-time jobs, painting, yard cleaning, anything to make a buck to live off of and put gas in a boat to go fish. That was what I did.
After a stint in the Army in Vietnam, Al and his brother Ron chased a new dream, manufacturing fishing tackle in Brainerd, Minnesota. Brother Ron Lindner remembers.
We were guiding out here. We had used this for a long time, and people in a boat started calling. Well, that was Lindy's rig, with the sinker and stuff. Really simple thing, and we sell them for $1. Cost about a nickel.
Along the way, Ron Shera read about the Lindy's rig, and he gave us a call. And he says, I'm going to come up and I want to see what this thing is. And he came up to Brainerd, Minnesota. We went on Gull Lake, and he did an article on us and on the rig, and it changed our career. It actually launched our career. But it's funny how those things happen. Right place, right time, right people.
To their amazement, Lindy rigs sold by the tens of thousands and do to this day. Fishing guide Walleye Dan.
This is our traditional Lindy walking sinker, 3/8 ounce sinker, bead, swivel, a length of fluorocarbon line, and then that'd be a number 4 finesse wide gap gamakatsu hook. Just kind of checking things to make sure that when we get a fish, it's not gonna break.
Soon after, one fishing success led to another until Al Lindner was CEO of a multi-million-dollar fishing empire.
There's other personalities around here that are good fishermen, but someone like that's not a cocky, arrogant person, is looked up to big time. And yeah, I mean, he's done a lot.
Today, the Lindner's television operation has grown into new quarters with the latest in video production, including fish tanks.
And we shoot a lot of underwater photography in a controlled environment with the fish tanks, and they're a necessity in our business.
And their fishing business is still a family business.
This is my niece, Dawn, who does all the PR stuff for us, and she's pretty good at it, right? Yeah. This is my office, my set of digs here. I got the prettiest scenery if you look out there. I got some trees in the backyard, some flowers. I picked the best place in here where I can escape. I can see if somebody's coming in and I don't want to talk to them. I close the door and hide.
He won't have to hide for long. Coming up, Al heads back onto one of the greatest lakes in the Midwest. But before we go, he's ready to share one of his legendary secrets.
You know, if there's one tip I can give you that I believe will help you catch more smallmouth, it's important to understand that these fish are predominantly a sight feeder. And most of the good smallmouth lakes have fairly clear water. So your line is really important. You want to fish the lightest line you can possibly get away with. Most of my smallmouth fishing, most of the time, is done with 6 and 8 pound test line, and I use a lot of fluorocarbons. And the reason I'm saying fluorocarbon, it's the closest thing you can have to a truly invisible line, and it definitely will get you more bites.
You're watching Legends of Rod and Reel.
If Al Lindner is a fishing legend, what makes him so? What are his fish catching secrets? Let's find out.
These little lakes like we're in now for largemouth, for 2 to 4 pound fish, it's tough to beat them. There's one there, I don't know what it is. Nice, yeah, bass. He hit me right under the boat. Hit it right under the boat. Yeah, that was on that DT. I'll make a few more casts with that crankbait. It wasn't as big as the first ones that I missed. You'll see a big fish come out of this school, a real big one. Luck is not really a big factor in fishing. You know, you can learn to catch fish with some consistency. You know, there is a learning curve come on. Size, oh yeah, nicer one. There is a learning curve that anybody that really wants to learn, you know, if you put in the time and energy, yeah, you can become a fairly successful fisherman. You know, learning a lot about the fish and, you know, what seasonal movements bass like this make. And, oh boy, I told you this hook is a little bit better than the hook I missed those fish on. I don't miss them now. They're biting now and I'm getting them.
Now in his early 60s, Al Lindner is a husband and father of a grown son. However, his fishing mind seems to be caught in forever young.
And, you know, you go 2, 3, or 4 times out with young people as an example. I've learned that over the years. You know, the first time you could tell them, oh, you know, it's just a beautiful day like we have today, and they're having fun in the boat, and, you know, you might see an eagle or some ducks on the water or turtles on the shore and say, you know, that's kind of fun and da-da-da. But they didn't catch a fish, you know, like this. You know, they didn't catch a fish, they get a little bit bored. And, oh, look at his baby. Even bullheads have a value, especially to young people. A critter like that is fun. What's the whole purpose? The fish pulling on the end of your line. That's what makes fishing what it is, man. Bullheads, crappies, everything is biting here. No, they have been chewing on this power hog. I mean, it's been a preferred, a preferred bait right now. What's the odds on getting a bullhead on a bait that big that they refer to as a creature bait? Oh, man.
Still to come on Legends of Rod and Reel, it's time to head out to a place called Mille Lacs in Minnesota.
Oh, look at that. Whoa, big smallmouth on the top water. Best smallie of the day.
It's one of Al's favorite spots.
Big fish.
Speaking of favorites, Al's ready to share another of his fishing secrets.
Local weather and water conditions pretty much dictate how fish move. Cold front shut them down. Incredible heavy fishing pressure can shut fish down. Calm sunny days for some fish, such as a walleye or a muskie, they don't like this. Smallmouth bass like it. Largemouth bass don't mind sunny, calm days. So each species of fish is a little bit different. A smallmouth like calm weather. And I like calm weather. Two good pluses for both of us.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Falcon Graphite Rods, made in the USA. Now back to more Legends of Rod and Reel.
If the passion of a fishing legend knows no end, then Al Lindner's quest is endless.
The smallmouth on Mille Lacs are basically on all of the rock piles all around the lake. So I'm going to start on the inner rock piles, the shallowest ones. Not many boats. I see two that look like muskie fishermen. If nothing happens there, I'm going to transition to the mid-size rock piles on the flats. And then the last rock piles that I'll fish, depending on what the bite is the furthest out ones that dump into the main basin. The swimming grub on this lake in a 4-inch watermelon's a good color. Got him. Good one. Good fish. Good fish. Oh, yeah. Nice, big smallie. That's interesting. He was pretty far up shallow. Another one's down there with him. I seen another one behind him. Another one down there. See, that's, you asked me, why do I like to catch smallmouth? The fish don't know when to quit. They just don't know when to quit. Besides the size, smallmouth don't get as large, but that's a good smallmouth, by anybody's standards. But the smallmouth definitely are much, much tougher of a fish than a largemouth are. Way tougher. Little one, little guy. Little guy. Right color, wrong size. That smallmouth population on this lake is exploding so much. Little guys like this I never seen until about 3-4 years ago, and now they're really all over the place, which bodes well for the future here, with their management philosophy on this lake, which is basically a total catch and release thing for trophy fish.
Did the fishing legend say trophy?
Oh, big one. Really a big fish. Oh, look at, there's 3 more with him. There's 3 more with that fish. There's 3 more with him. But there was a, whoa. That's why I like smallmouth fishing. I mean, that the fish don't want to quit. He does not want to quit. So it really boils down to what I'm doing here. It's not so much finding the fish, it's catching the fish that everybody else is fishing. Now hold still, baby. And that's the real key today, fine-tuning the presentations. Look at that baby, huh? Now that is a pretty darn nice smallmouth by anybody's standards. Whoa! Whoa, a leaper. Again, what do you like about smallmouth? You just seen it. Jumping all over the place, doing its deal. Now that was fun.
Maybe that's what fishing legends do better than anybody else. They fish for fun. And in Al Lindner's case, sometimes something else.
If I wasn't fishing at this stage in my life, a lot of people know my faith is an important part of my daily living. And if I wasn't fishing today, and this might sound strange, I wouldn't mind being an evangelist and talk about the blessings of the Lord in your life. And that might sound strange to a lot of people, but that's where I'm at this stage in my life. But praise God, I still get to fish for a living. That's what I really want to do.
Has Al Lindner, the fishing legend, been judged good enough to keep?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Just like that fella on TV that talks to the dogs, he can talk to the fish. He knows them. And they, like I says, he goes out there and they bite with the camera. Me, they run away. They hide.
Oh, look at that. Whoa, big smallmouth on a topwater. Best smallie of the day on a topwater. Big fish. He eat that thing, man. Oh, look at this. Look at this baby. Maybe. It's getting enough activity here. I'm gonna need a pliers to get you in. Get one out of there, one hook there, and one there, huh? Whew. The old skidder prop delivered the goods. Getting a little late in the day. That might be why I'm starting to see some topwater fish. Go, let's see if I could do that again.
Do that again? That's exactly what Al Lindner, the fishing legend, does. Catch 'em again and again.
I got him. Oh, I missed him. I got him that time. It's a big one too. I got that fish. It was a big boy. Might be the best fish of the day.